turn the page. We live for the speed and slow. Every corner, every spoke. Chasing dreams, blood in the throat. Victory's a heavy cloak. Grit and steel under our skin. In the wind we feel the wind. Dust and glory on our kin. We're alive when engines spin. We live for the speed and slow. Every corner, every spoke. Chasing dreams, dirt in the throat. Victory's a heavy cloak.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back in as race number 2 here of the SRA Tulsa Shootout is getting underway here this evening as practice quickly coming to a close here as drivers out there on the racetrack getting a few extra laps in, making sure that their setups are absolutely perfect, making sure they got the right handle on their race cars and that they are ready to rumble, they are ready to rock and roll here this afternoon as quickly, we see a lot of drivers putting down some great lap times. Colin Hutchinson right now with the quickest time out there on the racetrack here in these non-wing sprint cars, the micro sprints here this afternoon. We see Dylan Blackburn, our third place finisher from race number 1 in the 48 run, currently second quickest with Keith Bradley there in third right now, looking pretty good in that 7X machine. Trevin Fry in position number 4 with Garrett Boyd in the 21, now into the 5th position here in this practice session. We see a bunch of other drivers getting in here, starting a battle for this races. We do see Sean Swatzlander. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Swatzlander out there as well, and so many other drivers ready to rumble, ready to battle here this afternoon, as it looks like we're going to have roughly about 36 drivers loaded into the race, ready to rumble, ready to roll here this afternoon. So if you guys are just tuning in, make sure you guys hit that like button on the broadcast, smash that thumbs up, make sure you hit those reactions, hit that share button, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, drop a couple comments, and tag your friends, your family, everybody in the comment section. Get them in here and let them enjoy the amazing racing action that we are about to see here again on Peacemaker Gaming. As drivers are down pit side, the racetrack has been worked in and we'll get ready here for heat race number 1 here in race number 2 in just a few more moments. Will we see the number is the number 12 ride? If the number 12 machine can go back to back here to start this afternoon, as the 12 ride of Bo Stenzel looking to try to go back to back here for checkered flags this evening. Start his Tulsa Shootout on the right foot. As we'll get ready here, heat race number 1 loaded into the sim. Each and every one of them looking for the win here this afternoon as random pill draws here for the heat race. And we'll see a lot of tough competition here in every single one of these heat races. As starting on the pole in heat race number 1, it's the 13 machine, Joshua Hawkins. Hawkins will start in that top spot. To his outside in the 83 machine, that is Colin Hutchinson. Starting in position at number 3 in the 6th ride, that is Jacob Bork, and to his outside in the 11 ride, that is Gabe Griffin. Starting in position number 5 on the speedways, the 7X of Keith Bradley. To his outside, the 75 ride, that is Daniel Adam. Starting in position number 7, the 22, that is Joe Vendetti. And then to his outside in the 36 machine, that is James Miller. Bringing up the rear of the field in the 30 machine, that is Nathan Brown, as we get 9 drivers ready to rock and roll. 4 drivers will work themselves into our A main feature event. Everybody else will go to our consolation races. As as Joshua Hawkins out at corner number 4 will see that green flag fly. Quickly, Joshua Hawkins onto the lap pedal, but door to door out at corner number 2. Here comes that 83 as Colin Hutchinson looking to lead lap number 1, and he will make the move and take the top spot away from Hawkins. Hawkins, look out! That number 13 machine's gonna go around. Contact between himself and the 6th ride of Jacob Bork. Bork getting a piece of him right there. They both end up losing a ton of positions, and now both sit on the outside of a transfer spot looking in. As my boy Martin Long says, I am back. Let's go, Martin. Welcome back in as the racing action just starting to heat up here in our second race of the afternoon. As Gabe Griffin looking to try to take that race lead away from that number 83, Colin Hutchinson. Hutchinson and this 11 machine of Gabe Griffin duking it out here for the first and second position. Daniel Adam in that 75 right sits in that third position with Keith Bradley in that fourth and final transfer spot here in our first heat race of the afternoon. James Miller already up a few spots, finds that 36 just on the outside looking in here of a transfer spot. He's got Nathan Brown right there behind him in that 3 machine. Joe Vendetti back in position number 7 with Jacob Bork right there, and Joshua Hawkins bringing up the rear of the field, not giving an inch, but the white flag has been displayed. Is out in front, Colin Hutchinson down through corner number 3 and out at corner number 4. He will pick up heat race win number 1 here this afternoon. Right there behind him is Keith Bradley, Gabe Griffin there in third, and Daniel Adam in that fourth and final transfer spot, meaning that Miller, Brown, Vendetti, Bork, and Hawkins will all go to our consolation races. So heat race number 3 goes to our second place finisher of our first race of this beautiful series here this afternoon, as our second race is upon us for the SRA Tulsa Shootout here this evening. And we saw Colin Hutchinson come home in position number 2, have a very strong run in the winged stock micro sprints, and now here in the stock non-wing micro sprints, picking up that first heat race win and trying to set himself up for a beautiful start and a beautiful opportunity to try to pick up the checkered flag here this afternoon. Do you guys do truck racing? We do some truck racing, a little bit of the NASCAR trucks and some other stuff here and there. All depends on, what series come across my desk or whatnot. But we got a couple series where we do some NASCAR trucks and not a whole lot of the Pro 4 or Pro 2 off-road trucks, but definitely do a little bit of those here and there as we'll get ready to rumble once again as Frank Ranger coming in showing the love. What's good, Frank? Frank coming in showing the big love here in this one as Adam Miller says couldn't find this race in League tab. Yeah, I don't know how to help you on that one, brother. It should have just been in the league sessions. Maybe it was too late to join. I'm not 100% sure. You should have been able to see it in there as Frank Ranger says, what's up, Peace? What's up, Frank? What's good, Mr. Ranger? How are ya? HCK Beagles, awesome truck league. Yeah, definitely a great truck league. Our Tuesday night trucks with the HCK Beagles, always a ton of fun to watch right there as we'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to roll here as heat race number 2 out there onto the racetrack. And starting on the pole in the 21, that is Garrett Boyd. To his outside in the number 23, that is Nick Brundage. Starting in position number 3 in the 12 run, that is Bo Stenzel, our first race winner of the afternoon. To his outside, that is Sean Swartzlander. And then we see Davin Cardwell, Cody Connor, Noah Bowman, Colton Snyder, and Devin Lovejoy bringing up the rear of the field. Unfortunately, Lovejoy not out there on the racetrack, is door to door at the front of the field quickly. Bo Stenzel looking to try to pick up heat race win number 2. They're 3 wide back there behind them. A little contact as Nick Brundage launches up the racetrack. Look out as Cody Connor's going to go around. The all-out graphics number 3 machine of Cody Connor goes for a quick loop-de-loop, gets that car pointed back in the right direction, and keeps on rocking and rolling. As Bo Stenzel out in front as contact back there behind him. Look out, Garrett Boyd up into the outside fence. More contact. Look out, up on the 2 wheels somehow. Keeps that 21 right rocking and rolling, pointing in the right direction, but now finds himself on the outside of a transfer spot looking in as Bo Stenzel leads the way. Stenzel out in front, Nick Brundage back up into position number 2 is that Case IH number 23 into that second spot on the speedway as Davin Cardwell trying to hold on to position number 3. That is Noah Bowman right there battling with him, and quickly here comes that 412 machine as that is Swartzlander right there behind him trying to work his way into the show. He knows he's in that 5th position. He's on the outside of a transfer spot looking in and trying to jump up here and join that battle for position number 3 and 4 as the white flag has been displayed. So Bo Stenzel, after picking up win number 1 here this afternoon, he's going to pick up heat race win number 2 in our second race. As down across the line, makes a little contact there with Brundage, as Brundage will come home in second. Noah Bowman there in third, and it is the 412 ride of Sean Swartzlander in that 4th and final transfer position, meaning Davin Cardwell, and everybody else on the outside of the top 4 will go to our consolation races here this afternoon. As Martin says, I was thinking about joining, but I got to see about some money real quick. Number on the truck is going to be 24X. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Hey, man, get in there. Get in there. There's definitely a lot of different truck leagues, definitely a lot of different fun that you can do out there on the iRacing simulator and have some fun out there on the sim and joining some of the absolutely amazing leagues that are out there, whether or not we broadcast them or not. There's always some amazing truck racing going on pretty much daily on iRacing, as we'll get ready here for heat race number 3. Quickly into our 3rd heat race already this afternoon for our non-wing micro sprints, as the 29 of Ethan Patterson will start in the pole position to his outside. The 21 ride, that is Michael Crowley. Starting in position number 3 is supposed to be the 706 of Joshua Osborne, as AJ Knoll in the 31 will start there in position number 4. Looks like Osborne will miss the start of this race, so that will move the 48 ride of Dylan Blackburn into that 3rd position, as the 7 ride, I do believe that is the 7 machine of Taylor Wasson. Wasson will start there in position number 5 to his outside. The 27, that is Timothy Messammer Jr. there in position number 6. Starting in position number 7 is the 24 ride, that is Latham Longbine into his outside in the beautiful Dirt Hustlers number 9A, that is Brad Almond. So Almond starting back here in the 8th position, always super quick in these micro sprints in the midgets. We'll have to wait and see if he can work his way up towards the front of the field and into one of our transfer spots, or we'll see this 9A ride in a consolation race. As out at corner number 4, the 29 ride onto the left pedal with Michael Crawley right there to his outside, as Ethan Patterson leads us down the back straightaway. Here comes Dylan Blackburn. He's poking his nose right into the fun. Is there 3 right there in the front of the field? A big move right there out of the 21, as Michael Crowley ends up getting out of the way, and all of a sudden we see a couple more drivers tied up in what could be a big one, as you see this 21 gets onto the binders right here to help try to avoid any contact, but unfortunately the 29 up on the high side here looks like he's just going to lose the rear end. That car goes around, unfortunately nowhere to go for the 21 ride, as he slides right into the side of that 29 machine. As around goes Ethan Patterson, around goes the 21, and unfortunately for Brad Almond also getting collected there in that one. A tough break right there for Almond, and a tough break for Taylor Wasson as well, as down the front straightaway. He's actually going to get some contact right there from Brad Almond and gets turned around, goes for a quick loop-de-loop, has to throw that car into reverse and keep on rolling, and now finds himself back in the 7th position. As out in front, it's the 48 ride, our 3rd place finisher from race number 1 this afternoon. It is Dylan Blackburn who leads the way, with AJ Knoll there in 2nd. Timothy Messammer back there in position number 3, and Latham Longbine in that 4th and final transfer spot. As out at corner number 4, the checkered flag will fly, and it's Dylan Blackburn picking up heat race win number 3. AJ Knoll, Timothy Messammer there in position number 3. Latham Longbine in that 4th and final transfer spot, meaning that Crawley, Almond, Wasson, Patterson, and Osborne will all go to our consolation races. So we'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go here for heat race number 4. Once again, top 4 will transfer through into our A main feature event. Everybody else will go through the alphabet soup here this afternoon. Potentially D main, C main, and B main action coming up here after this heat race. As I do believe, yes, this is our 4th and final heat race, the final opportunity for these drivers to work their way into the show here through the heat race section of this afternoon's racing action. As James Gray will start in the pole position to his outside in that 15 machine, it's Dylan Smith. Starting in position number 3 in the 4 ride, that is Ryan Howard to his outside in the number 23. That's the hyper racing ride of Connor Baker. Starting in position number 5, that is Ryan Crawley in the 121 ride to his outside the 18, that's Mason Hamill. Starting in position number 7 in the 11, that is Trevin Fry to his outside in the 555, it's David Castelli. And then we see Kyle Hooper there in position number 9. As quickly the green flag back out into the air here for the SRA Tulsa Shootout. An early contact, the 15 ride goes around. The 15 machine goes for a loop-de-loop. Definitely not the way he wanted this one to start, as he was trying to work his way underneath our race leader. Looks like a little contact there as the 4 ride gonna get into him right there on corner exit. Unfortunately, Ryan Howard making that mistake, making that contact and spinning that 15 ride around. Now Dylan Smith finds himself back in position number 9. Ryan Howard back into position number 8, but now into 6th, now into 7th, back into 8th as they continue to wreck here in 3 and 4. And now here comes Dylan Smith right around that 4 ride as Kyle Hooper getting collected there in that one. Ryan Crawley also just getting on through there as Ryan Howard, Dylan Smith, all these drivers running into some early issues. Our pole sitter, James Gray, now on the outside of a transfer spot looking in as Connor Baker out in front. The 4 ride of the 11 ride of Trevin Fry into position number 2. Mason Hamill there in 3rd, and it's the 555, the triple nickel, the Case IH machine of David Castelli up and into that 4th and final transfer spot as Connor Baker leads the way here in our 4th and final heat race this afternoon. He'll see that white flag fly as quickly the 23 down the back straightaway sends it into corner number 3 as a little contact between him and Trevin Fry. Trevin Fry will pick up the checkered flag here in heat race number 4. Making a big move and working himself around Connor Baker. Baker showing his displeasure with how he was ran down through 3 and 4, but both drivers will work themselves into the show. Same with Mason Hamill and the triple nickel ride of David Castelli. Our top 4 will work themselves into the A main feature event, meaning that Gray, Crowley, and Smith and everybody else will go to our consolation races. As we'll get ready for our first consolation race, looks like no D main, so we will go to our C main, where 4 drivers from this C main consolation race will work themselves into our B main. Our B main will then have 6 drivers advancing into the A main feature event. So drivers trying to go from the C to the B. We were able to see the 75 ride earlier in the afternoon. He was able to win that C main and the B main and work himself into our feature event. Do we see somebody else backing that up and doing the same thing again here this afternoon? As we'll get them ready to rock and roll, we'll get ready to battle here for our C main consolation race. And starting on the pole in the number 22, that is Joe Vendetti. Vendetti will start in the top spot with Colton Snyder in the 24 to his outside. The 7 ride, that is Taylor Wasson in position number 3, and Dylan Smith there to his outside. We're supposed to have Jacob Bork in that 5th position. Looks like he will miss the start of this race, so it's going to move the 29 ride of Ethan Patterson into that 5th position. To his outside will be the 3 machine of Cody Connor. Starting in position number 7, we do see Joshua Hawkins, and to his outside will be that 4 ride of Ryan Howard, and I do believe that is the 11 machine Kyle Hooper, who will start at the back of the pack here. So Hooper will start at the rear of the field here in this consolation race as Jacob Bork, Devin Lovejoy, and Joshua Osborne, unfortunately, not out there on the speedway. As we'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to roll here in this one. It's Joe Vendetti out in front who will see that green flag fly as quickly the 22 onto the lap pedal, looking to try to open up a bit of a gap and looking to work his way into our B main consolation race. Early contact, couple drivers upside down, down through quarter number 3 and 4. That was Cody Connor collected in it. The 29 of Ethan Patterson and that number 13 of Joshua Hawkins. All tied up right there. Heavy damage for all 3 drivers and a couple more that were also collected there early on in this race. As out in front, it's Joe Vendetti who continues to lead the way with Dylan Smith there in second. Taylor Watson in position number 3, hanging that left front up and in the air is Ryan Howard in that 4 ride, currently sitting in that 4th and final transfer spot. He's on the hot seat as he's being hunted down by Colton Snyder. Snyder quickly trying to work his way back up into a transfer position, knowing that this is his last chance dance or could potentially be the end of his afternoon. If the 24 does not gain that 1 extra position, he will be one of the first drivers to load up his rides and join the fans in the stands here this afternoon for not only our B main but our A main feature event. As only 4 drivers will keep on racing and join us for our B main consolation race in just a few more moments. And Snyder does make the move. He's able to work himself around that number 4 ride of Ryan Howard. Howard slides backwards, but oh, big pile up! Oh, baby, a bunch of our front runners collected here in this one, including our race leader, Joe Vendetti, trying to work himself through some of the traffic. Unfortunately, gets tied up in it, and unfortunately for our race leader, he's going to go backwards here. Sends it into the corner, loses the rear end, and unfortunately you see that 7 ride of Taylor Watson, all of our top 5 virtually getting into this one, has nowhere to go for Dylan Smith, nowhere to go for the 7 ride, and everyone just piling in here up and over top of Joe Vendetti as the checkered flag is going to come out here. It is the number 15 of Dylan Smith able to pick up the C-main win with Kyle Hooper in position number 2, Joe Vendetti and Colton Snyder. Our top 4 able to transfer through into the B main consolation race. Let's take a look back at the official finishing order there of that C main, as unfortunately a few drivers running into issues late in this race in pretty heavy contact, unfortunately taking them out of the rest of tonight's festivities, as Dylan Smith, Kyle Hooper, Joe Vendetti, Colton Snyder, our top 4 will be in this B main consolation race. Unfortunately for Ryan Howard, Cody Connor, Joshua Hawkins, Ethan Patterson, Taylor Watson, Jacob Bork, Devin Lovejoy, and Joshua Osborne, they will load up their rides and join the fans in the stands here this afternoon, as we'll get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go here for our B-main consolation race. We'll see these drivers once again duke it out, as we will see 6 drivers work their way into the A-main feature event. Unfortunately, James Miller missing the call here to start this B-main. So 11 drivers taking the green flag, and they'll be led by the number 21 of Michael Crawley, as Crawley will start out in front. To his outside is the Ghoul, number 70 rider Davin Cardwell. Nathan Brown there in third with James Gray, Garrett Boyd, Brand Allman, Ryan Crawley, Kyle Hooper, Dylan Smith, Colton Snyder, and Joe Vendetti bringing up the rear of the field. As these drivers get ready to duke it out, 11 cats ready to battle here for 6 more transfer spots into our A-main feature event. It is the last chance dance for these drivers to work their way into the A-main feature event here this afternoon, as Michael Crawley leads the way. Davin Cardwell there in position number 2, and some great racing action all around the speedway. And quickly we see that 21 trying to open up a bit of a lead, trying to open up a bit of a cushion between himself and everybody else, as he's looking to try to punch his ticket straight on through into that A main feature event here this afternoon. out in front. Michael Crawley, Davin Cardwell. You do see Brad Allman now into position number 3 as he battles door to door here with Nathan Brown for that third spot. Dylan Smith from the B main up and into position number 5. So he's looking to try to punch his ticket straight on through into the A main here, going through a little bit of alphabet soup. Had to race his way through that C main. Now finds himself battling door to door with that 21 ride, as you do see Garrett Boyd getting around him. And now here comes the 11 machine of Kyle Hooper. Hooper trying to work himself into the show here after working himself from deep in that C main, able to work himself into a transfer position, and now right here battling for another transfer spot on the racetrack. Is right there in front of him, still side by side, Brad Allman and Nathan Brown, as you see Brad Allman trying to work his way up and towards that 70 ride, finally clearing Nathan Brown as Brown slides back into position number 4. Brad Allman into that third spot now, trying to hunt down that 70 ride as Michael Crawley continues to lead the way. On the outside looking in, we do see Dylan Smith now on the outside as Ryan Crawley right there in 8th. We see Colton Snyder working his way around him there into the 8th position, moving Ryan back into the 9th spot. James Gray back here in position number 10 as the 22 of Joe Vendetti is taking his car down pit side here. A tough break for the 22, and James Miller still down and off the racetrack and not joining us here for this B main consolation race, as the white flag has been displayed one more time around here for Michael Crawley, as Crawley leads the way. Davin Cardwell and Brad Allman battling still for position number 2, but it's all the 21 as he'll pick up the B main win here this afternoon. Michael Crawley with the B main win. Davin Cardwell, Brad Allman, Garrett Boyd, Dylan Smith, and Kyle Hooper in that 6th and final transfer spot here this afternoon, as Nathan Brown unfortunately goes around there on that final lap and unfortunately will not transfer through into the A main feature event, as only our top 6 drivers will work themselves into the show here this afternoon. We'll take a look here at the official standings as Michael Crawley and Davin Cardwell, Brad Allman, Garrett Boyd, Dylan Smith, and Kyle Hooper all transferring their way into the A main feature event. Unfortunately, James Gray, Colton Snyder, Ryan Crawley, Nathan Brown, Joe Vendetti, and James Miller will load up their rides and join the fans in the stands here this afternoon, as 6 drivers able to work themselves into the show. 6 drivers will be up in the grandstands cheering these drivers on here for the rest of the afternoon, as we'll get ready in just a few more moments for our A main feature event. Our A main just around the corner. We'll get a quick break in here, a quick drink, and ready to rock and roll for our A main feature event. You guys don't want to go anywhere, as the A main action is about to get underway. We're about to see these drivers duke it out for another 30-lap feature event, as it looks like we are going to finish the warm-up quickly here in this one. We're not going to let that roll out, so we're going to jump right into the action, and our A main is going to get started here right out of the gate. So let's get into it, chat. Oh my. Alrighty, here we go. Our A main feature event about to get underway, and starting on the pole in the number 83 machine. He came second place in race number 1 this afternoon. It is the 83 of Colin Hutchinson who will start in that pole position. To his outside, our race winner earlier this evening, the number 12 of Bo Stenzel, will start in position number 2. Our third place finisher earlier this evening will start in that third spot here in this A main feature event. It's still in Blackburn. There in third, we'll have Trevin Fry to his outside. Keith Bradley will start back in the 5th position. He'll have the 23 of Nick Brundage there to his outside. The 31 of AJ Knoll will start there in 7th with Connor Baker to his outside. Gabe Griffin, Noah Bowman rounding out our top 10. Then we see the number 27 of Timothy Massamer there in position number 11 with Mason Hamble to his outside. Sean Swartzlander in position number 13. Daniel Adam will be there to his outside. It's actually going to be the number 75 there in the 14th position. Then we see David Castelli Latham Longbine, Davin Cardwell, the number 21 of Garrett Boyd, the number 21 of Michael Crowley, the 9 of Brad Almond, and Dylan Smith bringing up the rear of the field as it looks like Kyle Hooper missing the call here for this A-main feature event. Unfortunately, Hooper will have to start down pit side as the 22nd driver not out there on the speedway. But out in front, it's Colin Hutchinson. Bo Stenzel, they duked it out in our first race, and here they go, ready to battle for race number 2, the SRA Tulsa Shootout here this evening. As we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as Bo Stenzel quickly jumps up and takes that early race lead away from the number 83 machine. Bo Stenzel out in front, Colin Hutchinson back into position number 2 as we see a early caution flag. Caution flag quickly coming out. Some contact deeper in the field. Looks like the 21 of Michael Crowley. Unfortunately going to get tied up here in this one. We'll see where this contact may have started as he works underneath that 75 and gets a little loose, then a little contact right there with the 55, the 555 ride. The triple nickel machine unfortunately going to get a little bit of a whack right there, and unfortunately that contact going to spin the 21 in that triple nickel ride of David Castelli around here. Castelli, really nothing he could do. He's just trying to work his way through the corner. Gets tagged there in that left rear tire, and he gets turned around. And unfortunately here, the triple nickel comes down the racetrack. Nowhere to go for the 15 machine as he slams into him there. Dylan Smith, pretty good damage there as that car gets airborne. And unfortunately, some pretty heavy damage for all 3 competitors. This is our first caution flag here of this A-main feature event is out. As out in front, it's the 12 ride of Bo Stenzel. We're getting used to seeing this 12 ride at the front of the field. Led every lap there in our A-main feature event with the winged stock micro sprints earlier this afternoon. Now the stock non-winged race. These cars are very, very fast. These drivers are very, very talented. And right now, the way that our top 3 is running is exactly how they finished in that first race this afternoon. But you do see that 83 trying to put the pressure early on here to the back bumper of Bo Stenzel. Stenzel's going to have to make sure he hits his marks and make sure he moves around the racetrack, finds the lanes, and make sure he can try to hold all these drivers off once again for another feature win this afternoon. Colin Hutchinson there in second, trying to turn the tables and beat that number 12 right here. This time is the 48 of Dylan Blackbird trying to hold on to that 3rd spot on the speedway. Trevin Fry back there in 4th with Nick Brundage now inside the top 5, but trying to hold off Keith Bradley's Bradley down low will make that move in the 7X back up inside the top 5. Brundage back into the 6th position as here comes Gabe Griffin. Griffin up a couple spots early in this race after getting around a couple of drivers. He does have that 23 though, Connor Baker right there on his back bumper. Noah Bowman back there in the 9th spot, and then we see the 31 ride. That is AJ Knoll rounding out our top 10 here on the speedways. The Scooby-Doo car trying to hold on to that 10th position, but here comes Mason Hamill down to his inside. Hamill right there, the 412 right there as well, ready to make some moves. His contact, look out, around goes the Scooby-Doo machine. Timothy Missamer also collected here in this one as the Voodoo number 27 ride gets turned around, and unfortunately that will bring the caution flag back out as AJ Knoll. We were watching this 31 ride, and unfortunately it looks like he's going to get up into the outside fence here. I'm not sure if he had any help, but we'll take a look at it. It's right there, bounces off the number 18, then a slide job trying to cross over that 18 ride, but having to get onto the binders to work himself underneath this 31. That 412 ride coming with a big head of steam, unfortunately could not get checked up early enough. Gets into that number 31 ride, washing him up the racetrack, and unfortunately right here clips Timothy Missamer, and unfortunately Missamer getting turned around. Pretty good damage there for him, pretty good damage for that 31 ride as they get up into the outside fence and get stopped there on the racetrack, and that will put us under our 2nd caution flag. As we'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to roll here once again as our A-main feature event ready to go back to battle. Pace cars off the speedway, and here you go. Down through quarter number 3 and out at quarter number 4. Bo Stenzel trying to navigate these restarts, trying to keep all these drivers back there behind him on their tippy toes, but ends up getting into the berm right there. Here comes that 83 of Colin Hutchinson. The open door now for Hutchinson, the battle door to door with that 12 ride as he's looking to try to take this race lead. They make contact. They get tied together. Up and over goes that number 83. Colin Hutchinson going for a wild ride. A bunch of drivers collected there with them, and the caution flag will fly. Caution flag will be displayed as Colin Hutchinson had the open door. He tries to stuff that 83 down and into that open position on the inside of the racetrack. Unfortunately, he's got the 48 right there with him. They all make a little contact. Unfortunately, Bo Stenzel, he's the first one to get turned sideways there as you see the 83 climb right up and over top of Stenzel's ride as you see the 7X, the 23. All these drivers, unfortunately, just piling into the disaster here in corner number 1 and 2 here on the racetrack. And unfortunately for Colin Hutchinson, continuing to go around the 7X ride, stop there on the bottom side of the racetrack. And unfortunately for a lot of these drivers, their good runs quickly coming to a close here as they will go to the rear of the field. Nick Brundage, Keith Bradley, nowhere to go for those drivers as they just get driven in there and nowhere for them to go. Nothing that they can do as Bo Stenzel will hang on to the race lead here. So Stenzel out in front after getting turned right there. Luckily enough, able to keep his foot in the throttle, and was not part of the actual caution flag. It was for the drivers that were stopped on the racetrack. So Stenzel stays out in front. Dylan Blackburn now into position number 2 is Gabe Griffin looking to slide into position number 3. It's the battle of the 11s as the 11 right at Griffin, the 11 right at Trevin Fry battle door to door for position number 3. Daniel Adam right there in the 5th position, and here comes the 24 ride of Noah Bowman. Bowman looking to try to work his way inside the top 5 as the 24 sits in that 6th position as we see the 18 of Mason Hamill, Brad Allman there in 8th, Connor Baker back in 9th, and Sean Schwartzlander back in position number 10 as the caution flag will come back out here for, I do believe, the 4th time here in this feature event. For the 4th time, the caution flag will be displayed. We'll take a look as the 21 ride here of Garrett Boyd going to run into some issues. He was rolling just on the outside of the top 10, and not sure what happens here to the 21 as he works down low. Oh, looks like a little contact in front of him. Davin Gardwell comes down the racetrack and ends up making some contact right there with this 21 machine as not sure if Davin, looks like he gets a little contact from that 412 ride as oh no, the 412 gets a little piece of the 23. Unfortunately, that gets him sideways, nowhere to go for Davin. He gets sideways down the racetrack into the 21, and unfortunately, it's the 21 ride that goes around, and he'll bring out that caution flag. Unfortunately, just the last driver in there and gets the worst end of the deal, and getting them all ready to rock and roll here out in front. Continue to lead the way. Bo Stenzel looking for back-to-back checker flags here with the SRA Tulsa Shootout here with the Micro Sprints, the non-wing version here for race number 2. And Stenzel leads the way. Dylan Blackburn in position number 2. Trevin Fry back there in 3rd. Noah Bowman there in 4th, but the caution flag going to quickly come back out here. So caution flag back out onto the racetrack. Looks like David Castelli running into issues. The triple nickel ride. Take a look here, see what happens. Is everyone trying to get ready to rock and roll, ready to back up the speed, and in the front straightaway into corner number 1. Looks like he's going to get some contact right there. Looks like the 83 ride of Colin Hutchinson just gets in there a little too deep. Hutchinson trying to work his way back to the front of the field. Sends it in there deep, looking for a big run, trying to slide to the outside of that triple nickel ride. Unfortunately, bumpers are going to meet. The triple nickel's going to go around, and it's a tough break for both drivers. Luckily enough, not a whole lot of damage for either of them as that triple nickel gets his car pointed back in the right direction as the caution flag is displayed. So we'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to try this all over again. Drivers line back up here, single file, and Bo Stenzel's going to get ready for another restart. What does he have in store this time for that number 48 of Dylan Blackburn? Blackburn trying to stick right there with him on these restarts, but he's quickly running out of time. So Bo Stenzel gets his spot, but Colin don't. Well, I mean, Colin actually started the caution flag, and Colin also stopped on the racetrack. Bo never stopped. If you go back and watch that replay, the 12 ride keeps himself in the throttle and keeps on rolling on the racetrack before that caution flag comes out, where Bo was stopped, and same with the other 2 drivers. They were stopped on the racetrack, and that is is iracing calling that as a caution flag as they go off of iracing scoring, and iracing put the 12 ride back into the race lead and sent those 3 stopped on the racetrack to the rear of the field lane. So if you don't know, don't say anything. So out in front, it's still the 12 ride, but quickly another caution flag here as things get a little out of control here in this one, and unfortunately, a few more drivers getting tied together, a few more drivers battling hard out here on the speedway, and I do believe we may see David Castelli and Colin Hutchinson get tied together here once again. This time the triple nickel back behind the 83 here as Hutchinson trying to work himself back up towards the front of the field here, getting a little loose for the slick stuff. They go door to door. They beat and bang in the triple nickel hard down into the inside fence right there, and that's where we'll see that caution flag come again. So the triple nickel trying to find a little bit of room down low. They rub and scrub down the back straightaway, and unfortunately, heavy hit right there. Let's see if we can take a look here from David Castelli's perspective as we'll jump on board with this number triple nickel ride and see what he can see from the cockpit of his ride. Down low, gets a good run, battling door to door. Unfortunately, just that contact and turned around and into the safer barriers there in the inside of the infield, and fortunately, pretty good damage right there for that triple nickel ride, and he'll go once again to the back of the pack as we quickly go back to green flag racing. Is out in front. Bo Stencil leads the way. The 48 of Dylan Blackburn there in position number 2. Trevin Fry there in that 3rd position with Daniel Adam and Noah Bowman rounding out our top 5 here on the speedway. As my boy Josh Smith, what's good, Josh? Josh coming in with the 20-star dono, coming in setting it off here in this one. How are you, Mr. Smith? As Daffin Cardwell, Mason Hamill, door to door, back here for the 6 and 7 position as the caution flag will fly once again. So the caution flag coming back out as cautions breeding cautions, the tight elbows up racing here at the Chili Bowl for the SRA Tulsa Shootout here this afternoon. It's going to see the 31 ride, the Scooby-Doo machine of AJ Knoll, run into some issues here. Let's take a look on this restart. The 31 ride looking to get a good run, looking to try to gain a little ground and work himself back inside the top 10. Unfortunately, things stacking up in front of him. He makes a little contact there with Gabe Griffin. That gets him a little bent out of shape, and now not sure if that was for the caution flag right there, or if we'll see anything else happen here to that 31 ride, as I do believe potentially Edmonds throwing that caution flag, just a jumbled up restart. And the 31 ride, I'm not sure if he ends up going around or gets stuck on the racetrack before that caution flag gets displayed. Let's say this is far enough back that the initial yellow was for the restart. Everyone's just trying to get locked back together here. So a quick caution flag, a little bit of a ghost one right there. Nonetheless, we'll get ready to rumble here again as Bo Stencil continues to lead the way. The 12 ride out in front as he's been out in front for a lot of laps already here this afternoon. Obviously picking up that win in race number 1 and now looking for the win in race number 2. Bo Stencil looks to be the car to beat. Everyone's going to have to try to step up their game here tonight and for tomorrow and Saturday's festivities. As Bo Stencil back to the green flag, Dylan Blackburn there in position number 2. Unfortunately did not get the restart that he was hoping for, and quickly a gap between our top 2 drivers. Unfortunately that gap is quickly going to be evaporated as the caution flag will be displayed here once again, as this time looks like Keith Bradley in the 7X is going to run into some issues here as the 7X ride here on the restart. Everyone trying to get a little jump here on the restarts. Everyone trying to size up the competition. Unfortunately, he's going to get in there too deep. Gets a piece of that 412 ride, and he is going to go for a loop-de-loop. Turn the wrong direction. See Brad Allman trying to get back out there onto the racetrack. That's a good break for Mr. Allman, as he'll stay on the lead lap with that caution flag as the 7X goes around in another good caution flag. We'll get everyone lined back up and ready to go back to battle again here this afternoon as Brad Allman trying to work his way back into this race, as I do believe he's going to get a lucky dunk. He was actually already a lap or 2 down. Looks like he will get that free pass and try to work himself back onto the lead lap here in this feature event. Now he's loving these caution flags. The more caution flags, the more opportunities for Brad to try to work himself back onto the lead lap here this evening. But quickly, the laps are running out here in this one. I'll say something, I don't care. Guess what? Fucktard. It's my channel, brother, and I get to do whatever I want to do. So you know what? Have a nice 24-hour ban. See ya. Timed out. You can't say shit for the next 24 hours, and I'll extend it, brother. I don't care who you think you are, kid. You're nothing. You're just a fucking fart in the wind, brother. A fart in the breeze. No one in my chat want to say shit and think you run it. Guess what? Think again, bot. Get fucked. As we get ready to go back to green flag racing, Bo Stencil out in front, getting ready to go to battle here in this one. As Stencil continues to lead the way. Dylan Blackburn there in second with Trevin Fry up and into that third spot, trying to hold off the 75 ride. As Daniel Adams sits there in position number 4. He's looking to try to work his way into the front of the field, wanting to put that 75 up and onto the podium here this evening. Same with Noah Bowman and all these other drivers back there behind him as we quickly see that green flag fly once again. As the 12 rider, Bo Stencil out in front, continuing to lead the way. Each and every one of these caution flags continue to click these laps off, and we already see 7 laps left to go. That time by the start-finish line. So only 7 more laps left here in this one for Bo Stencil. Stencil leads the way. The 12 ride out in front, continuing to pull away from that 48 rider, Dylan Blackburn. Blackburn trying to hang with him, trying to keep himself right there in the thick of things for that race win, and maybe just biding his time, knowing that maybe there's still a few more caution flags left to go, as we do see another yellow flag be displayed. This time looks like Connor Baker and David Castelli gonna get tied together here. We'll keep an eye on the 23 as he rolls down to the inside here of the 31. He's gonna get a little contact right there, but everyone able to keep it pointed in the right direction until that triple nickel sends it in there a little too deep, makes that contact with the left rear of that triple nickel, or of the 23 machine, and unfortunately for Connor Barker, that's all it takes here through that slick stuff at the Chili Bowl for the Tulsa Shootout here with the Southern Racing Association. And a little bit of contact there gets him sideways, losing all that momentum. You see those rear tires spinning, unfortunately going nowhere except for up and onto the berm as they get stopped there on the bottom side of the racetrack. That will bring the caution flag back out. So we'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to duke it out here once again. Another restart, another opportunity for these drivers back in behind. Bo Stencil, they're trying to find something, trying to get a jump and a run where they can try to beat this 12 ride here this evening and knock him out of the top spot as he's looking for back-to-back wins here in night number 1 of the SRA Tulsa Shootout. As Bo Stencil leads the way, a couple car lengths quickly between himself and that public enemy subs, number 48 rider Dylan Blackburn. Trevin Fry there in third with Daniel Adams. Noah Bowman there rounding out our top 5 as Kyle Hooper all the way from the C main to the B main into our A main, and now finds himself up 16 positions and in position number 6. A heck of a return for that number 11 ride as Kyle Hooper continues to try to work his way inside the top 5. He's got Mason Hamill, Davin Gardwell, Latham Longbine, and that is the number 23 machine of Nick Brundage right there with him. Brundage trying to work his way inside the top 10 as the 21 of Michael Crovey works to his outside. As the white flag has been displayed, so Bo Stencil for the final time, down through 3 and out of 4. And quickly, we see the checkered flag here in our second race of the SRA Tulsa Shootout and winning back-to-back races here on night number 1. It's Bo Stencil who will find victory lane here again this afternoon. This time, Dylan Blackburn, instead of finishing in third, will finish in position number 2, and it's the 75 ride. That is the beautiful number 75 machine of Daniel Adams into that third and final podium position, as we saw some contact late in this race on that final lap. A couple drivers running into issues, and unfortunately quite a few drivers tied up here in this one. A couple of those drivers that were up towards the front of the field, unfortunately having some problems here. Let's take a look back and see what happens as man, there was quite a few cats right here that get tied up and unfortunately get put into quite a bit of a mess down through 3 and 4. See the 11 ride of Hooper, he's right there in it. The 24 ride of Bowman's in it. We see so many other drivers that unfortunately just get tied up and taken out here in this one. And unfortunately, a lot of drivers that were looking for some good finishes not getting the runs that they were hoping for. You know, you look at Trevin Fry, went into corner number 3 as our third place driver. There's some contact between him and the 75. The 24 gets turned right there, as we did see the black car right there. That was bumping into the outside fence, the other black 11 ride, and everyone trying to work their way through there. The 18 ride, a Hamill goes around there before the start-finish line. More drivers finally in there into corner number 4 fence, and a lot of drivers unfortunately going from what could have been a great run to not the run they were hoping for here this afternoon down across the line. But one driver that got the job done here this evening and picking up back-to-back wins is this 12 ride of Bo Stenzel. Stenzel picks up the win and pulls this number 12 back up and into victory lane here this evening. What a run and what a drive here on night number 1 for Bo Stenzel. A great run so far for Dylan Blackburn. Back-to-back podiums for that 48 ride, and for Daniel Adam to come home in position number 3. Davin Cardwell back there in 4th, and Trevin Fry able to roll out our top 5 with Latham Logbine, Dylan Smith, Nick Brundage, Garrett Boyd, and Brad Almond. Our top 10. Heck of a rebound right there for Brad Almond not too long ago. That number 9 ride was multiple laps down and able to battle back and in to a top 10 run here in race number 2 of night number 1 of the SRA Tulsa Shootout. We'll get ready to pull our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth for their post-race interviews. We'll get ready to pull Bo in right now as our race winner sits down pit side. Hey, Bo, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Well, once again, do you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man, what a run, what a drive. It's back-to-back races, back-to-back dubs here for that 12 machine, as early on you had to quickly make that move to the outside of the 83 of Colin Hutchinson. You're able to make the move, you're able to clear him there on that opening lap, and once again you lead us from green to checkered every single lap here that you could have led this afternoon. You're out in front and showing these drivers how to navigate this race track, and you're able to pull it off and pull that car back up into victory lane, man. What's going through your mind right now after picking up back-to-back checkered flags and starting your Tulsa Shootout off on the right foot?
First and foremost, I'd like to apologize for Colin. I fucked up. Oh, sorry. I messed up on a restart, and he got under me, and I went into 1 and 2 and kind of chopped him a little bit, and it knocked us both sideways. So that one's on me. But I mean, other than that, had a really good race. I actually had wheel damage for the rest of the race from that incident. So the car was driving a little funny, but I don't think it really mattered, man. Like, the car felt so good running that slider 1 and 2, bottom 3 and 4. I was searching there for a little bit, just trying to see what I could find to finally get some speed. I hit bottom really good one time. I think I don't know if I ran quickest lap of the race or what, but it felt really fast. So I stuck to it. And good run for Dylan too. I knew he was running in second for a long time. They're trying to stay out the chaos behind him.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to stay out of some of that chaos, especially after that contact. Take us through that as you're out in front. You're trying to hold on to that race lead. You get into the berm there on the restart. It opens up the door for Colin Hutchinson. Hutchinson trying to find his way underneath. You're trying to keep that door open on the next lap. And as he slides in there a little too far, the 48 ride also getting in there a little too far. Unfortunate contact as he slides up and into you. You start to go around there. Luckily enough, you're able to keep your foot in the throttle and not be a part of the caution flag as you kept yourself on in the gas. Unfortunately for Colin and a few other drivers that were up inside of our top 5, top 10, all of a sudden go from, you know, what was a great position on the speedway to the back of the pack. And from that point on, we see, you know, numerous caution flags and drivers like Colin running into issues here throughout the.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that one's on me. I messed up on a restart, and he got under me, and I kind of chopped him there a little bit. So that one's on me, but I'm lucky he fucking. Sorry.
You're good.
I'm
You're
lucky.
good, brother.
I'm lucky that I kept going. Sucks for him though. He got sent to the rear, which just iracing is how it is sometimes. But I mean, yeah, I just ran a really clean race from there. Didn't make no mistakes. Just kept my foot in it.
Absolutely. Keeping your foot in it, keeping yourself out of trouble for the rest of the afternoon. And yeah, iRacing making the call there. And obviously, as the 83 ride was completely turned around and stopped on the racetrack, that qualifies him as part of that caution flag. So that's where Colin got the back to the pack, going to the rear of the field there. Luckily enough, as you were just sideways, but able to keep yourself rolling there on the bottom side of the racetrack, able to keep yourself in that top spot as you're able to keep the top spot, not have to go back through the field, not having to try to work your way back to the front. You're able to keep yourself right there and not make any of those mistakes as you pick up back-to-back wins here in the SRA Tulsa Shootout here in night number 1. Well, what's in store here for night number 2, man? The Outlaw Micro winged cars and the non-winged cars tomorrow night. Are we going to see it back there for both those races and trying to win back-to-back races once again?
Man, I hope so. I have some plans throughout the day, and I don't know if I'll be able to make it for the yellow wing or not, but I hope I'll be able to. We'll have to wait and see, but I'll definitely be there for the 55 non-wing. That's probably my favorite. This is going to be one of my favorite races. It's just going to be keeping your car clean and seeing how everybody can run.
Absolutely. Keeping your car clean, keeping yourself out of trouble there for that 55-lap feature event to finish off tomorrow night's festivities. As Bo, a great run and a great drive again here this afternoon. Who would you like to thank for such a great performance here this evening?
I'd like to thank Drywall Systems by Rick mostly for hiring me as a crew guy for 2 years. Jeffrey for being badass driver he is and allowing me to run this rep that he agreed upon, and Carden Cochran for putting this on. He's taken time out of his day and just putting up with people's bullshit, really. And just that last race was kind of a wreck fest, just people's egos getting the best of each other and just wrecking people. Wish we had more green flag laps, but that's just how it is sometimes.
Definitely sometimes how it goes out there on the racetrack, and definitely tough work for the admin crew trying to keep everybody under control and calm out there on the racetrack. And unfortunately, they can't control everybody out there. As Bo, you're in control here of this race. You're able to control your destiny here this afternoon and put that 12 right up into victory lane, not once but twice here this evening. Congratulations on the great run, the great performance, and we can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Bo Stencil. Stencil going back-to-back here this afternoon, able to pick up not only our first race, but that second race win here this afternoon. Doesn't matter if it's winged or non-winged. That 12 ride has these things figured out, and he's going to be another threat to deal with tomorrow night, where these drivers, they're going to have to try to figure out a way to beat him and not let him into victory lane tomorrow evening. As we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher, the 48 ride of Dylan Blackburn. Blackburn coming home in position number 2. We'll get ready to pull that number 48 ride up and into the broadcast booth. Hey Dylan, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Dylan, another great run, another strong performance, as this time you're able to start a little closer to the front of the field, and you were able to stay there throughout this race, even after a little bit of contact and mishap there at the front. You're able to work yourself through that carnage. From that point on, you sit in that second position, obviously trying to play a little offense, trying to figure out a way to beat Bo, but Bo just in another category here this afternoon, just a whole different time zone, as unfortunately you weren't able to catch him and weren't able to make a move to try to get around that 12 machine here this afternoon, but you're able to keep all these other fast cats back there behind you, man. Who, how do you feel after another great run and another great performance here back up into the podium?
Man, it feels really good. I had a bad draw for the heat race, and the person in front of me didn't grid, so that helped out a lot. Leader of the first lap of the heat race pushed up the track, and I got the win. And then Colin and Bo got into Colin a little bit, hurt the right side of the car, but kept up with Bo most of the race. Feel happy about it.
Absolutely. Bo and yourself obviously dealing with a little bit of damage there from that contact. From your perspective, what were you seeing there as you guys were driving it down deep into corner number 1?
So Cullen and Bo were battling through the middle of the track. I tried to sneak underneath Cullen. I don't think Cullen saw me down there. He kind of came down. I caught his left rear, pushed him up in a Bo a little bit. Hurt the right front a little bit, but I kept rolling.
Absolutely, definitely some tough contact right there. Obviously, everyone kind of getting piled into there. Bo and a lot of those other drivers inside our top 5, top 10. Really nothing that they could do. They're just trying to hang on and keep themselves out of that trouble. But a few of them getting stumped down on the bottom of the racetrack, including Colin. They get sent to the rear of the field. You guys able to continue battling here at the front of the pack. And they were trying to hunt you down. They were trying to work their way back up through there and rejoin that fight at the front of the field. Unfortunately, running into more issues, keeping them back there at bay. And good news for you guys is it's a pretty easy race for you and Bo sitting there in first and second, as you guys were able to just continue to pull away and keep that gap between each other and between yourselves in that battle for third and fourth.
Oh yeah, car felt really good. I was trying a bunch of different stuff trying to catch Bub, but no matter what I do, he'd either pull me or stay even. He was really quick all day, both races.
Yeah, definitely a lot of speed out of that 12 ride, but the 48 looking very good as well. Dylan, what do we got in store here for tomorrow night as we go to the Outlaw Micro Sprints tomorrow evening for back-to-back races? And the second race here with the non-wings going to be 55 laps instead of a 30-lap feature event.
Oh, I'm feeling really good about tomorrow. Brittle Speedworks is going to give me a really good setup since it's open setups. Hopefully we get a good draw in the heat race and we should be set.
Well, we look forward to seeing you back out there. But Dylan, who would you like to thank for another great run and another great performance here in race number 2 of the SRA Tulsa Shootout?
You know, just Trevin Fry Racing, Brittle Speedworks, and Cushion Pushing Media.
Well, Dylan, great runs, great drives here this evening, and we can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack tomorrow night. Good luck, and hopefully we'll see you back up here for a couple more trips into the broadcast booth.
All right, thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Dylan Blackburn, as Blackburn coming home in position number 2. Another great run and another great drive there out of that 48 machine. As coming home in that third position was the 75 ride of Daniel Adam. Daniel Adam coming home there in position number 3 here this afternoon. We got a couple drivers in here with 2 first names, which is kind of throw me off a little bit here this afternoon, as Daniel Adam and Keith Bradley, definitely some unique names, but Daniel Adam able to get a solid top 3 run, a great performance here out of that 75 run. Unfortunately, we do not have Daniel in the Discord here. He's not in one of our channels, so we can't pull him in for our post-race interviews. I don't know if anyone else has anything, but unfortunately some tough lucks out there on the speedway for some of these drivers. A couple big heavy hits, unfortunately for some drivers, not getting the runs that they were hoping for. But for Daniel Adam, Bo Stencil, Dylan Blackburn, definitely the runs that they were hoping for here this afternoon as they work themselves back up onto the podium. Unfortunately, though, that will do it for us here this afternoon. Some great racing action, a lot of back and forth, a lot of great battles, and some crazy wrecks out there on the speedway throughout this second feature event this afternoon. I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares. I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in, and make sure, if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family today, and make sure you turn those bell notifications on. That way, you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming, as we're live not only over on Facebook, but we're also live on YouTube and Twitch as well, where you guys can catch all the action on your favorite streaming services. So make sure you guys check out all of our channels and become a follower, become a subscriber on all 3 of them, and never miss any of the racing action here on Peacemaker Gaming, as we'll be right back here in Tulsa, Oklahoma for our Tulsa Shootout night number 2 tomorrow night. The Outlaw Winged Micro Sprints and the Outlaw Non-Wing Micro Sprints tomorrow evening for some more amazing racing action. Things will get underway, things will get pretty crazy, pretty racy once again, and it's going to be a ton of fun to see these drivers back in action. Unfortunately, though, that will do it for us here this evening. Thank y'all for watching, and thank y'all for tuning in. As Jeffrey Newell says, Bo, please reply. Huge fan, huge fan. Big fan, big fan, big fan for Bo. Yeah, Bo's got some fans in the stands, that's for certain, Jeffrey. That's for certain. Huge fan for Mr. Bo Stencil out there, as Turbo Bo out there on the speedway. Yeah, absolutely is. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank y'all for tuning in. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all tomorrow night. Peace out, baby. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen.
Engines roar, the night ignites. In the dirt we find our might. Rubber burns, the crowd ignites. Racing hearts under the lights. We live for the speed and slow. Every corner, every spoke. Chasing dreams, dirt in the throat. Victory's a heavy cloak. Tires slide, the dirt's our stage. Helmets on to guard our rage. Lap by lap we earn our wage. In a blur we turn the page. We live for the speed and slow. Every corner, every spoke. Chasing dreams, dirt in the throat. Victory's a heavy cloak. Grit and steel under our skin. In the wind we feel the wind. Dust and glory on our kin. We're alive when engines spin. We live for the speed and slow. Every corner, every spoke. Chasing dreams, dirt in the throat. Victory's a heavy cloak. Grit and steel under our skin. In the wind we feel the wind. Dust and glory on our kin. We're alive when engines spin. We live for the speed and smoke.